Racer Radio on AM1170 The Answer is sponsored by Love Radio Network. This is Racer Radio on AM1170 The Answer. If it's a car, motorcycle, boat, or anything else with an engine in San Diego, it's on Racer Radio. Now, here's your host, Dave Stahl.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. This is Racer Radio. We got Dennis Taylor in the house. Dennis is a local racer. It says he raced at Barona Speedway by the looks of him.
He doesn't look old enough.
It must have been the last day of Barona Speedway.
My dad.
Okay, what's your dad's name?
Dennis Taylor, also.
Okay, all right. Left myself on the nose. What was the number car?
It was a 567 Bomber.
I remember it. I used to sub for Tom McGrath every once in a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What a cluster that was. I go, who are you out there? But because Tom knew everybody. He knew the family. He knew the relatives. He knew... he spent hours at the track before the track even, the track started racing. So it doesn't run too far from the family. And who's this old guy you got next to you?
This is Jim Hutchinson. He's my main man, builds all my motors, does everything for me.
Does he yell at you?
He keeps me in line, that's for sure.
Do the things you're not supposed to do?
Yeah.
Well, like Corey Kruisman said that some men don't take direction too well.
You don't think?
No. So does he give you direction?
Oh, yeah.
And you listen to him,
you're
right?
Listen because he's a little bit older than you.
Well, I want the car to run good, so of course I'm going to listen. Without him, it wouldn't.
So now that brings up a good point. I mean, did you guys have to kind of work out a communication?
He gives me that look, and I just know what he means.
Okay. But are you able to tell him what he needs to know? Does he do suspension too, or just engine?
He does everything, but we go back and forth and talk how it's handling and make some changes, to move forward. So
and emotion never gets in that because it can't. Because if you guys put emotion into that, you'll never get the car right?
Exactly.
Like if you tell him, hey, well, it's doing this, and he takes a quarter of a pound of air out, and you go back out, and all of a sudden it scares the snot out of you. You don't come in screaming and hollering. You go, that was just a tad off. Let's go another direction.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what different divisions do you run?
I have a car just about for every class at Barona.
And Jim's laughing.
Because
that keeps him busy.
I'm going to tell you, I was
Jim's
a crew chief
busy.
one time for 3 cars. I feel your pain.
So how many divisions? 5?
Well, this was all SECA, in 3 different divisions. I had 3 different cars, and so you've got.
And so how about you
which
guys?
one do you run the most, or
Yeah.
what is your?
What's your primary?
Do you run all of them?
I run just about every one of them, depending on the night. Sometimes 2 at the same night. Focusing on the street stock, it's a '67 Chevelle. It actually was ran at Barona Speedway back in the '80s.
Oh, nice.
And I also have a pony stock that was ran back at Cajon too. And
Sure.
we pretty much focus on those cars because everybody's running them. We do have a super stock. Those are ran every other month or so. So it switches as whatever's open that night.
Well, we might use you because the Air and Space Museum has taken upon themselves to honor speed next year.
Nice.
So every month next year, they're going to have a different race theme. And I want to make sure we get some Barona cars down there, so that people know that there is a racetrack around here.
For dirt track racing.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing we got left. So we may tag maybe one of your cars. We can put it on display with all your advertisers and everything on it.
For sure.
Yeah, because right now they're kind of shocked at me because they didn't know if they were going to be able to get enough cars and
I got plenty of those.
Well, within 3 hours, I had almost everything they needed. They're going,
They just had to ask the right guy.
They even want to know, says, well, we'd like to get a Wankel or a rotary engine. on an engine
he's like,
stand.
Michelle can work
2
on
minutes.
that.
All right, now what do you want?
Yeah, what else?
I mean, it's already the guy's already got it on the stand. He's already cleaning it all.
It's already out front.
You want a Wankel? We'll get you a Wankel.
That's right. Whichever direction you want to go. So, how many years have you been driving?
I started racing at Barona in 2008.
Okay. So you've been championships every time?
We've raced so many different cars. We're more about getting the main event wins. This season we had 9.
Wow.
And then actually gave one away to a lapper when we were coming through the field, got taken out. But, that's part of racing. It happens. But we focus on the main event wins versus a championship because championship, you can't race 3 different cars. So
no.
I'd have a lot of cars just sitting.
Yeah. Do you rent them out or loan them to people? Or
No, pretty much. If
Jim goes in, oh, you can't loan these cars out. What are you, crazy?
We would definitely have our hands full if we were going to do something like that. But, family, anybody in the family, my dad, if Jim ever wanted to get back behind the wheel, he's always got that green light. So
yeah, exactly. That means he'd have to work on his own stuff again. That's never any fun. So what do you do normally during the day?
Well, we pretty much, for work, I do fabrication. So I build other people's race cars.
Oh, well, that's even cooler.
I help out little Mike Thing. He's been on here and we get his car ready to go. And anytime he has any issues, I go through it and fix it. So when he flipped it a few races ago, we were able to get the car back together in 2 weeks and got him back out on the track. So
wow.
So I get
was it pretty bent up?
Oh yeah, front clip was bent, motor mounts were ripped out. It was hammered, roof was flat.
If he's gonna do it, he might as well do it right, huh?
Exactly.
Go big or go home.
That's it. Go big or go home. So who do you have on the car for sponsorship?
Oh, we have a handful of sponsors. Number one, Jim Hutchinson sitting next to me. He's my main sponsor. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be racing at all.
Right.
Makes the cars run good, makes them look good, pretty much everything, keeps me in line, talks to me. Then I got Little Darlings from Lemon Grove. They're a really good sponsor of mine. Great people over there.
You got to have a food sponsor. Come on. Antonelli.
Oh, yes, I do
somebody.
I do have Andy Antonelli.
Oh, you do have Antonelli.
Antonelli's Deli is one of my main food sponsors, and
yeah, we could tell.
They never let us down, that's for sure. Sandwiches are amazing.
That was nasty, huh? Jim's laughing, though. He thinks it's funny, too. No, those are the best deli sandwiches in the East County.
It doesn't get any better than that, yeah.
I'm hungry just thinking about it.
A lot of sandwich.
Yeah, that's a crew sandwich. You all could gnaw off of that thing. So you got Antonelli's. Who else?
Yeah, Antonelli's. Last season they gave us a 36-inch sub, and we all did.
Wow.
Chopped it up and passed it around. It was amazing.
I bet.
Well, we got Fox Racing Shocks.
Oh, that's nice.
They helped me out on my super stock, and a couple of these sponsors helped me on different cars, but
sure.
They come together on everything. And then I got Tony Cortez from True Line Alignment.
Oh, yeah.
Tony's a great guy. I get to race his car here and there.
He has a race car?
Yeah, he has a street stock, and every once in a while he won't have it running, so he'll throw me behind the wheel. We'll go out there, and we've gotten some. Haven't won a main event in it, but we've broke some track record times, and also finished in the top 5 many times. So.
Wow.
So I got him too. We got Executive Garage. They do all my paint for my cars. They're a good paint shop right here, local.
Yeah.
Reasonable price, good job. I got a TCP Global, Steve over there. That's the old Tri-City Paint. He does all my paint and products and materials and everything we need, and he comes to the track and camps with us too. So
I haven't heard TCP in so long.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was a service manager here for 30 years, and those guys been around forever.
Oh yeah,
yeah, good product, mainly customer service. They got probably the best customer service when you need some help with a paint problem.
Oh yeah, they guarantee everything, so they're super good with the public.
Wow.
We got East County Metal Supply. They give me all the steel and stuff to fix my car and little Mike's car. Every time we bend it up, and Norris Racing, Mark Norris, he's a good guy. He lets me build on my cars at his shop too, and throws parts here and there whenever we need it. And then Larry Corning, he's helped me out many times. He's a good guy too. He does it for himself. So, but him and Jim used to race back in the Balboa Stadium days, and
oh my God,
a little too far.
Yeah, I think you're going way back. Hey, let's tell you what. Let's take a quick break before Jim has a heart attack, and we'll be right back. This is Racer Radio. I'm Dave,
and I'm Michelle.
This is AM1170.
The Answer.
AM1170. The Answer. San Diego.
Folks, welcome back. You're listening to Racer Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. This segment is brought to you by El Cajon Ford, where absolutely nobody treats you better than El Cajon Ford. They're having a big sale this weekend. Go on down, tell them you heard it right here on KCBQ. Tell them Stahl sent you. They'll take good care of you. Okay, we're also talking about Barona Circle Track. We want to make sure all tracks stay alive and well. And this is Barona Circle Track's segment. And with that being said, we have Dennis Taylor in the house. The name might sound familiar if you're a local racer. This Dennis Taylor is the son of the other Dennis Taylor,
Who raced at El Cajon.
who raced at Cajon Speedway, actually is the correct way to pronounce it, Cajon Speedway.
Got it.
Now Barona and can't decide on what division he wants to be in, so he's got a car for each.
He just has to do all of them. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. What's the fastest thing you got?
On my super stock.
Okay.
They're up there, unlimited motor pretty much. So, whatever you got, you can put in it.
Yeah.
They're one of the hot cars out there. The modifieds are really fast too.
Right.
That's the only car I don't have yet. So we're working on that deal.
Yeah. Look at this. Well, and the cool thing about it is you've gotten some cars from Cajon Speedway. I'm sure they're painted differently, but you instead of grinding them up, no, they're still painted the same color.
No, they're definitely painted a little different, but some of the racers from Cajon still know that the cars are the cars.
Sure.
I got the Ron Brown '67 Chevelle.
Oh yeah,
and Brian Brown races, which is the son, and he races at Barona with us. So we're gonna bring that one out there and see if we can beat his new car with his dad's old car.
Oh, that would be something.
Give him a little bit of fun,
Sure, why not?
Make it interesting.
And folks, and that's really what Barona Speedway is all about, and it's nothing but fun. Whether you're behind the wheel, in the pits, in the stands, it's fun. It's family. You can bring the whole gang out there. You can bring a cooler. You can bring your own, beer, wine, whatever you want to do.
And a barbecue.
Bring your own barbecue. Bring an RV if you want.
Yep.
No charge.
We saw
as long
RVs
as you're
in there.
self-contained and, find yourself a little cubby hole to park, and it's easy to do. And get up early in the morning and then drive home. That's what most of you guys do, right?
Oh, yeah. We camp out there some nights from Friday through Sunday.
Sure. Because
it's a good time. The Salazars are really, really good people.
Oh, yeah.
They want the best for their fans, and they want everybody to come back. So, if you make it like a camping trip close to home,
sure,
you get to do the whole thing without having to go too far.
Right, because dragging your gear up and down the mountain is fun, but it's not that much fun. Mm-hmm. It's more fun to stay camped and relaxed, and
racing's a lot of fun for everybody. A lot more fun for the drivers, so it's nice when you can camp out and do a little bit of camping and spend time with the family, because without the family putting up with me and everything, and Dad, Mom, and Ashley and everybody, it would be really hard to do what I do. You wouldn't
be able to do it.
No, late nights, a lot of time spending that they don't get to spend with me, where we're working on the cars and trying to get them back together last minute. You know how that goes.
Been there, done that. Race on Sunday, work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, travel on Friday, pray on Saturday, then haul whatever's left back on Sunday and do it all over again. And I'll never forget when I did it, my buddy's wife, every night we raced or we worked on the car, she would fix an English muffin with chili on top and cheese and onion. 6 days a week. For as long as I worked on that silly car, that's what we had. You knew every night that's what you were going to have to eat. But it was good. It had grease on it.
Filled the stomach. And
and when you're working till 10, 11 o'clock every night.
Oh, yeah. I got a handful of friends that help me too. They come over, they work all day. They come over to help me work on the cars. Chris, Matt Walker, he comes down and he's good fabber. So, we pretty much thrash on it as whatever it takes.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the racing. The racing's probably the most fun for the driver, but really it's getting to the track and knowing that when you get to the track that I'm going to give you a piece that's going to work. I always used to tell people when I raced go-karts because I was on a more limited budget. But I used to tell the guy, I'd take my cart to the cart guy, like I'd take it to Jim, and Jim my checkbook, say, call me when it's done. And if I lose, it had better be my fault.
Yes.
That's all I got to say. And, I got quite a few trophies with that kind of a statement. Because I wouldn't put a dollar limit on you. No. You spend whatever you need to spend, but I had better win. That's all
I want it out front. Yeah.
I want it out front. And not that money always is a deciding factor, but it gives the builder the freedom to do the things without anybody looking over his shoulder saying, I take that part off. I can't
holding them
afford
back.
it. Yeah, no, you can't hold back a crew chief or a builder.
Exactly.
The minute you put any restrictions on them, you might as well go find another sport.
Definitely.
Am I right?
True.
Because you're a builder.
Yep.
If I came to you and I said, okay, I want you to build me a race car, but don't spend more than $500. That's exactly what you would do. You'd laugh at me, and then probably Jim would throw me out.
True.
But like I said, it's not about the money. It's about having the freedom to do what you think needs to be done to get to the checkered flag.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Just tell me, until you add the checkered flag, you will never be able to explain it to anybody.
Exactly.
It's never experienced coming out of turn 4, sideways or otherwise.
Bumping, banging, trying to get that car to get a little longer.
Oh, and the most important thing is breathing.
Yeah.
Man, I used to have the hardest time breathing. I used to race the kart track at Cajon.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I was out front, the lungs just shut down. It's like, we don't need you. We're just going to hammer down and get to the front. And you almost pass out sometimes if you don't remember to breathe.
Yeah, and then you feel the car behind you pushing and bumping and trying to turn you. And
Oh, yeah.
Like
and that's okay. That's okay.
That's what makes it exciting.
I have to tell you one cute story. So I'm up at Imago racing. And the one class for these kids was what I call the chubby class, and they were one driver short, and you had to weigh 200 pounds. Well, I only weighed like 185. And so I had brought those things you put around your ankles, those sand things for exercising to lift your legs up. Mm-hmm. So I was wrapped them around my legs, and then I put my driving suit on and got on the scale, and I hit 200 pounds. So, then that way now the class can run. So I'll never forget, this kid had to be 12 years old. So we're coming off, hit the checkered or the green flag. He's right on my tail, and we're coming down, and he tagged me just in the right place, spun me out and into a pond.
Oh.
But I went in nose first, thank goodness, So the cart's sticking in the nose. I'm soaking wet, so I pull it out, and that was a qualifier practice, so there was no problem. So I said, all right, I'll fix you, you little rascal. You just because you think you're a kid. Next time out, it was the race. Man, and I punted him into the pond. I buried him into the pond. So I come back to the pits. Here comes his dad.
Of
and he's
course.
about your size, maybe a little bit bigger.
Oh.
I go, well, this ought to be exciting, So I'm waiting. He comes up. He said, I just want to shake your hand. He says, you're the first one that had the nerve to straighten my kid out. Because I've told him about dirty driving, and he wouldn't listen to me. Thank you very much. I said, hey, man, don't think nothing of it. I appreciate it. Anytime you need me to punt him, you let me know.
We can do it again.
He turned out to be the nicest kid, turned out to be the most respectful driver, but he didn't know. He just knew, I'm sure, his dad said, you're going to win. Doggone it, you'd better win. And the kid did whatever he could to win. But that was great.
He was used to giving it and not taking it.
That's right. And I stuffed him backwards.
Nice.
So the engine went completely underwater.
I got tagged like that in my super stock one time with Eric Ferguson.
Oh, Eric Ferguson? Geez, that would never happen.
He turned me in the last.
Eric turned you?
We had rubbed and raced the whole main event, and I actually got by in some 3-wide racing. So the last lap, I take the white, go into one. He puts it in the left quarter panel, turns the car into the infield. And I just matted it. I come back out of the infield sideways back on the track, and he hit me again going into turn 3. It tore the left rear trailing arm off the frame.
Oh, wow.
And since I didn't get out of the gas, the drive shaft held the rear end under, but when I took the checker, the rear end fell out of the car.
No.
And we slid it up into turn 1, and
nice.
We won the main event. It was one of the best shows that everybody had said at Barona.
That sounds like a great video.
It was a great finish, and there is actually a video. It's
awesome.
It's under Dennis Taylor, Barona Speedway on YouTube.
Really?
And there's a ton of different videos of me racing and finishes and main event wins. So I encourage everybody to go out there and check that out.
Well, back in the day when I was a kid, my dad was the bad guy at the track. Because the promoter would pay him an extra, remember, a couple $100 and go out and terrorize and crash into everybody and cause accidents. And because that's what people come to the track for.
Got to make a show.
If you just went around the circle and didn't touch each other, then,
What is that?
The true racers will get it, but the fans won't get it.
Yes.
Because they want to see some sheet metal or fiberglass or something. And that's what my dad used to do. But he was 6'3", 250 pounds. I mean, he could get away with it. I couldn't do it. But yeah, no, and see, that's the cool thing. I mean, the stories that you can tell, and that's half of why you do what you do.
Oh yeah, you really the racing community is like a family, you know. Whether you get your friends and everything in the pits, and when you get on the racetrack, you got to forget about that because you're there for one reason, you
That's
know.
right.
No hard feelings, but we all come back out, and after the races, most of the time, you know, everybody's best friends again. And wow, you really raced me good, and I made a show, you know. And then sometimes some people are disappointed, but they'll get over it before next week, and we'll go back on.
Because you can always straighten a body part.
You can straighten a body part, or somebody could loan you a part. I've borrowed many things from a lot of racers, and I got to thank them all. And Ron Leslie, he helps me a lot too on my cars. And I actually borrowed a tranny from Tony Cortez after a heat race that we broke a transmission, and it was a transmission that Jim told me I needed to replace the week before, but it ended up breaking on me in the heat race. And since I wasn't going to let him down, I pulled the tranny out of Tony's car because he broke the motor, and I pulled the tranny out of my car and put the transmission back in. We started dead last and won
all
the main
that
event.
night.
All that night,
Trashing.
I wasn't going to let him down. You know, he gave me that look.
Trashing.
With the transmission transplant.
How did you finish that night?
I won it. So I started dead last and came all the way through the front. Made some really good moves, and I had to thank Tony Cortez and Rick, his buddy. He's no longer with us, but he helped out a lot too.
Wow, that had to be a great. Would you say that might be one of your great nights?
Between that night and the Ferguson race, those were the most exciting. You know, we usually try to put on a show. I ran a couple races ago with Danny Gay. He's a really good driver from Cajon Speedway, and you know, me and him, we put on one of the best shows of bumping the cars back and forth down each straightaway for the last 5 laps of the main event, you know, and everybody that when we pulled off was like, wow, that was awesome, you know.
You always know you're going to get a good ride when a guy comes out and his car's pink.
Yep.
You know he is going to give you the run for your life because it ain't pink because he's cute. That's for sure.
Nope.
Now that's well, you know, that's the beauty. I am so happy to see all of the families that were at Cajon Speedway moved to Barona because there was a fear that a lot of them didn't want to go dirt. But I think once they get on dirt, it's way more fun than asphalt.
I would say definitely.
I'm serious. I mean, it's just a lot more fun because how many kids didn't go out and drive in the backwoods with their car when they weren't supposed to? I mean, it's the same thing, but it's legal.
Exactly. Yeah, dirt racing, you know, every turn, you never know what you're going to get, you know.
No, it's just like a box of chocolates. You
go flying in there and you go, okay, well, I'm going to make this work. Hope them other 20 people are going to make it work too.
Well, you know the old saying, 8 wheels are always better than 4.
They definitely turn better than 4.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, if Scott calls in, we'll take Scott. If not, guess what? You get to talk some more racing.
Perfect.
Right here on Racer Radio, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Racer Radio. I'm Dave.
And I'm Michelle.
And this segment is brought to you by Paris Auto Speedway, 18700 Lake Paris Road in Paris, California. If you haven't been to Paris, you haven't gone fast. Paris Auto Speedway is a super fast half mile. Tons and tons of fun. Scott normally calls in, but since we have Dennis Taylor in the house and
Scott's not calling.
And I told Scott, I gave him
you told him to enjoy the afternoon?
Well, he bought those beautiful trees, stuck them outside.
Oh, his Christmas trees.
And the wind, the wind blew all the leaves off of them. So now
they don't have leaves; they have needles.
No, but he actually had trees. These weren't Christmas trees. These were some kind of other tree he was going to use for Christmas. So he texts me. He's gluing the leaves back on. So hopefully he'll be done by next Thursday. Hey,
good luck, Scott.
We've been sitting here chatting with Dennis, and he's been. How many years you been racing? Would you say? I think I already asked you that, but
I've been racing now almost 10 years.
All right, 10 years. All right.
Did some go-kart racing, you know, at a younger age.
STKA?
But we were doing like the Miramar
Speed Circuit.
And
K1 Speed.
It was Malibu Grand Prix.
I got one of their bodies out in the backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I found it the other day. Look at that. I forgot I even had that. No chassis, just the body.
Uh-huh.
But no, karting, I mean, trust me. I mean, nothing gets you sharper than karting. You know, I don't care if you're asphalt, dirt, whatever. You know, you get in a cart and do about 20 or 30 laps, you know, that'll sharpen you right up.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Miramar Speed Circuit friend guy over K1.
Uh-huh.
Because K1, if you get stupid, they turn you down. They turn your juice down.
They don't want no bumping. They take all the fun.
What's up with that? This is no fun. Yeah. So So what do you got planned for 2018? Going to run all the divisions again?
Yeah, we're going to switch from division to division depending on where the races are. Sometimes we do a lot of the big shows, the money races, the turkey shoots. We'll be running Paris, Barona, Victorville. I don't know if they're going to have any more shows, but I hope so because I like that track a lot.
Victorville?
At Victorville.
Right, is that on the ragged edge?
It's on the ragged edge if it isn't already there. But Victorville, you had the banks that were nice, and you could go 5 wide in the turn. It was perfect for running that top shelf. So.
Now, I heard you mention Cocoa Paw, and I got to tell you, this year, if I've heard Cocoa Paw once, I've heard Cocoa Paw 172 times.
It's catching on with these
Have you
racers.
been to Cocoa Paw yet?
The racers
I've
love
been
it.
to Cocoa Paw, and
you like it too.
I like it a lot. Yeah,
Everybody
seems to really like it.
I like it. Paris is very, very nice. It's groomed nice. The track's nice. They run a show there though. It's not laid back. It's time to go. You're going racing. You get ready. You line up. You race and have a nice day. So they're really strict there on their program, but it keeps everybody in line and it puts on the show for the fans. But,
you snooze, you lose.
Exactly.
And Cocoa Paw is a little more family oriented. Would you say?
Yeah, it's family oriented. It's a little bit more of a drive. For us to go down to Yuma, but it's well worth it. The track's big. It's usually really a good surface to race on, and the racers there are experienced.
Yeah,
as you drive a little bit further away, you get a little bit more people that are into this.
Well, and you get a different driver too. You get a completely different crew of people to race against, and then of course there's always Holly Henry.
Oh yeah, Holly Henry. We know Holly real well,
and Royce.
I know Royce.
And Royce,
yeah.
I actually grew up with Royce, and so we've gone from being teenagers up to what we are now, and
now competitors.
And now
you don't run his.
I don't have a mod yet, but I was looking into one.
Another yet,
and because we want to do a lot of traveling racing.
Have you ever thought of selling maybe one of the other cars?
I don't know. I've pretty much won a main event in every one of them, so they're all rock and roll ready.
I am so full of what because I would never sell.
I was going to say, you don't sell anything you have.
That's me.
I drive a different car every week, okay, because the manufacturer gives them to me. I got 15 running cars at home.
Of his own.
Oh, yeah.
That run, okay, and licensed and injured. And the other, I got, what did I count, 23 pink slips the other day?
And a trailer.
Attack.
You have a trailer, too.
But I would never get rid of any of them.
Same
and
with
when
me.
I do get rid of them,
it hurts.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
He just keeps getting them.
Well, because it tries to make me feel better that I shouldn't have never sold that one that I sold. Yeah. That's another story.
Yeah, that's me. I got the 6 cars in my driveway, and they all run. I can't be in each one at the same time, but they all run.
Right. That's how you know you're into cars.
I found the coolest thing in the world. It's a solar battery charger.
Wow.
You put it in the inside of your windshield on the visor, and just run the alligator clips to your battery. Let it sit in the sun, and the sun will keep it totally charged up.
Nice.
And they're like $19 for the stupid thing. So 6 of them. There you go.
Sounds like a great Christmas present.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
For who?
All right. So talk about prize money.
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Or is that where if you want to make a million in racing, you start with 3?
Yeah, that's kind of the same for sure. It takes money to make money, but you're always spending money. And for every, like last year, the 9 main event wins I won, we got wrecked 3 races out of the season. It kind of takes away from, some of the stuff that goes on. But we ran Victorville 3 years in a row. I got over $1,000 in my pony, and 48 cars showed up. And truly, to get the cars to come, the purse is where it's at.
Right.
You put up $1,000 purse, you get 45 cars.
Easy.
You're going to make a show, You put up $5,000 and all of a sudden, you're at the duel in the desert with 248 modified showed up for like 10 grand,
Oh, yeah.
And then all the fans and the friends and the people and the crew, that's what's going to keep the racing alive. Is we definitely need the sponsors to get some purses at our local tracks to put up some money so that the cars come and the people keep coming,
Well, and I think that's what people need to understand, that if you throw, and we're not talking millions, we're talking 500 to 1,000 at a track as a prize. Holy moly. And you want to get your whatever your product is known, that's the way to do it.
Exactly. Paris had a Lone March sponsorship
Right.
for the street stock. That was super helpful up there. I've been talking with Todd Salazar at Barona and Judy about getting some, purse sponsors because we want to keep Barona alive, and they do everything they can with what they have.
They need to hire somebody that's strictly outside sales, that does marketing and does that type of thing. They really need to pay them on a commission, because they don't have the money to pay, a salary and all that. Pay them on a commission and let them go out there. And I'll bet you, somebody, I'm not saying she would do it, but Holly Henry's a prime example. She would be a perfect outside sales rep for any racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. And I've talked a lot with Todd and offered up my ability, because I'm one pretty good person when it comes to, putting together some kind of a plan for a sponsorship.
I've offered him radio and TV enough to choke a bull elephant. If it wasn't for Dirt Dude and Brittany, we would hardly have anybody in here. And I'm not taking anything against them, because I know they've got a full life on their plate as well.
Most definitely. They live their own life, and then they do this just for us.
That's right. And my stuff is free. My stuff is free. It doesn't cost you guys anything to come down. So that's why I always bug the heck out of me.
Yeah, so we were going to work with TCP Global, and Steve over there was going to try to get some stuff for Barona going on this season. I've also, for the 2018 season for Little Darlings, Dan Davis has been helping me a lot. And, they do a lot of events there, and we want to do car washes, and they have an amateur night every third Thursday of the month. Right. Where they allow, amateurs come in there. And
well, why don't we get together, after the holidays, you, me, and Salazar.
Perfect.
And let's put a game plan together, because I don't mind, if we put together a PR package, I don't mind going out, because I think you're right. If we went to like Crower Cam and got $500, and we went to JBA and got $500, and we went to, you know what I'm saying? And then if you get 4 or 5 of those, and then do a purse.
Oh yeah, you'd be set. If they did a street stock purse at Barona and we advertised it on the radio, you'd have cars coming from Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have cars
coming from Mesa, from Cocoa Pot. You'd have them all coming. But see, and the only way to do it is, it'd be nice if the oil twins up in Paris would just write a big old fat check, but that's not going to happen. But if you took because how many races would you have in that night? Say 5, 6 races.
Yeah, there'd be 6 races.
So what you do is you get 5 or 6 sponsors. This guy sponsors this qualifier. This one sponsors this qualifier. First race, second race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. Was working with Full Throttle Energy Drink, and they were doing promotional stuff for each main event winner. And it's not always about how big it can be. The small stacks up to being big. Sure. A few small.
It's always easier to get a lot of little ones than to get one big one. And if you lose a little one, you're not crushed, But if you lose the big one, then you got to shut down the race.
True. And we got little Mike. He's moving up into the modifieds now, little Mike Thing. And his dad, Mike Thing Sr., and they have Mike Thing well drilling and pump service.
I know I'm going to use him. I just got to remember to call him. I got to call him. I want him to come out and give me an estimate on a tank that I have.
Oh yeah, no, he'd get the job done and do it for a reasonable price.
Yeah,
for
I know.
Sure.
He's super. Well,
we had them come in. They were in the studio.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
No, that's the other reason why we put Racer Radio together. It was because of Western States Racer Expo. Mm-hmm. We sat up there and interviewed for 3 hours. How many drivers?
Well,
at least 10 or 15.
5, 6 is that I remember. But then you were there the day before talking to racers.
And then sponsors,
I wasn't there.
Because you're really good on air. You don't have any issues at all. You know what to talk. I mean, you know how to walk the walk and talk the talk. But these young kids that are texting and doing all, they mumble. The best one is, remember, Cole Dick?
Yes, I know Cole.
Okay. So Cole comes to me when he was real little and racing go-kart. Well, he wasn't little. He was chubby. Now he's tall and thin.
Yeah.
He wouldn't he wouldn't put 3 words together if his life depended on it. Now, that dude you can't turn him off. Of course, now he's too big for us. He doesn't come back to radio. He's all high and mighty now. He's out
on
there.
TV movies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's doing
he's
all
gone
that
Hollywood.
He did go Hollywood on me, but now he's such a good kid. Isabella Bucciolacchi, I don't know if you know that name.
Yeah.
I started with her when she was, oh my God, she'd come in and she'd put the headphones on and she'd bend the arm piece. And, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to be racing Ferrari. And then she'd wear all her Ferrari stuff. Today, she's a little bit more mellower and a little quieter. Still can drive like nobody's business. She just went to Europe in a Porsche 944 spec race.
Nice.
I think she placed like, I don't want to say what it was, but it's top 10.
That's awesome.
Hundreds of drivers over there.
Oh, yeah. It's always really nice when you show up and there's a handful of drivers, 45, 50 cars. And you know that, the amount of money you have stacked up in it ain't near what the semi trucks pulling in got. And, but when on dirt, it's truly about the driver and it's not about the money.
It's an equalizer.
The dirt, if you can go fast on dirt, then you're going to do good.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break.
Great.
One more when we come back right here on Racer Radio. This is AM 1170.
The Answer. And we are in our final segment of Racer Radio. Our sponsor for this segment is Certified Car Care Clinic. They are at 11370 North Woodside Avenue in Santee. And you may tell them that Dave Stahl sent you, and they will take excellent care of you. If you want to check out their website to see what kinds of services they provide, go to certifiedcarcare.net. And we are back with our in-studio guest, Dennis. He's a racer out at Barona. So, Dennis, what is going on in the off-season? Now, they're not going to be doing anything till March, right?
Well, yeah, Barona is going to start back up in March. And so right now we're getting cars that, dialed back in, redoing them. Also working with sponsors on trying to get our sponsorship set up for our next season. So we encourage anybody that's looking for sponsorships to get a hold of me, either on my through baronaspeedway.com or through Facebook, Dennis Taylor.
There we go. I was going to say, just give out your Facebook, give out if you want people to email you. You can do that too. Get an email? Email
works too. dohcmotorsports@gmail.com.
There you go. And a website? Do you have a website?
I don't. I use my Facebook for my racing website.
That's what we do here too. We Racer Radio on Facebook is how to get hold of us too. And so you're not going to acquire any new cars, right? You guys are just going to keep working on the same ones?
We've been working up a deal maybe on a modified because I like to travel and my sponsorship from Little Darlings, and it was looking into doing some traveling. Dan, again, Davies, wants to, kind of go bigger with things. So if I got one of those cars, that would be a car we could go a lot of different places. But we're going to focus on the street stock and the pony this season also.
Cool. Anything major that you have to do to them, or just keep them?
We did really, really well on the pony this season with the 9 main event wins, so it's pretty much ready to go. Well, we thought about making it faster, but I don't know if that's going to be something that we need to do. But the Chevelle's coming around, the street stock, it should be ready. And then, if they're going to bring the supers, I hope Barona Speedway brings the super stocks back on the schedule regularly. We could be running that car a lot more.
Why did they? Why did they pull
I was just going to say, why did they?
Was it just not enough car count?
Yeah, it was. It came with Paris and Barona running at the same nights.
Yeah,
and we want race cars everywhere. Both tracks need their cars for their show.
Yeah,
and it was hard for the amount of cars. We were getting 6, 7 supers and 5 supers, and Paris would get 5, and so then they canceled the night so that Paris could take them one night, and then Barona could get them back.
Right. That's exciting. You want
super stocks.
Oh, the super stocks is where it's at. That's like, you get in and you're gonna drive that thing, but truly you're just going for the ride.
Yeah, you're just
you're hanging on,
point and shoot.
Well, any advice for me and Brittany, because we're gonna go up to Corey Kruzman's sprint car driving school in February.
The best advice I can give you is listen to what he says. If he says do this, 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 and this, just do this, 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 and this.
Yeah, that is definitely the most important thing. And what you think you're going to do, you don't think it. Just listen to what they're telling you. That's when I work with Little Mike thing. We've been coaching him in a modified now.
Oh, cool.
And he's 13 years old and going to run that mod. So, but the best thing about him is he focuses, he listens, and he feels it. He lets it come to him.
Right.
Some drivers jump behind the wheel, don't feel the car biting, and they try to do something, then they end up over their head and in the fence. So mainly just listen and ask a lot of questions. The more questions, the better.
The only thing with you, Michelle, that I'd be concerned about is you overthink things a little bit. I mean, you really get into. Sometimes you just got to take a deep breath. And if the guy says, "Go into that turn as fast as you can possibly go, and turn right, and then turn left," and hammer it. I mean, that's what it's going to get exciting. Whether you get to that level or not, it's hard to say. I've never seen his class. I may come up just to watch.
Me too. I want to go check that out.
Yeah, I want to go check. I want to see you and Brittany. You know what? I bet you. Well, make sure you do it. Do it on a Saturday?
Yeah, we'll do Saturday. That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Do it on a Saturday, and that way, oh my God,
Yeah, we'll go
fill
up
the
Friday.
stands.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
fill once Barona finds out. And then I already told Corey that once he does it, then we're going to have him bring one of the cars to KUSI,
Right.
and bring Brittany and Michelle to TV and tell their story again.
Nice.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Because, Corey's cars are full-blown race cars.
Oh, yeah.
They're not school cars. These are cars that you can do, ride and drive. You can come in, write a check, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, and
boop.
he said it's all up with it's one flat rate basically, and he sets you all up with all the equipment, everything like that. So
Wow, that's awesome.
I bring my Sparco racing shoes, and I'm set
$159 is it.
Oh my
for a whole
God.
day. Yeah.
That is so cheap.
See, so you might want to save just if you want. No, don't. No.
Well, he doesn't need it.
No, but yes, he does. But no, he doesn't. Because the minute he gets into one, then guess what?
He's like
I'll be
saying,
buying
yeah.
a sprint car.
You'll be buying
That's
a
right.
sprint car.
That's right.
One sprint car modified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, he'd have to have his modified too.
Yeah, we're gonna.
You just have to add a sprint car to the collection.
I think it's fun too because truly everybody
going,
at the
no.
racetrack never knows what I'm going to show up with.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say.
That keeps it interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that keeps them kind of on their toes.
Plus, you
Sure.
win.
We've showed up many times after 4:30 and started dead last in the heat race, won the heat race, and won the main event. And the people get there at noon and are setting up, and then they see me come in. Oh, okay, whatever. But
All right. Well, hey, we're going to do really good at second.
yeah,
We're going to do really good at second.
It's over now.
yeah.
But you never know.
No, and that's what's fun, and especially when you travel racing, you don't know people's history. You just go out there and have a good time,
And try not to do anything stupid.
Of course, try not to tear up a car. A win is always putting the car back on the trailer running, whether
Yes.
you really won or you didn't.
Right.
True.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
But
no.
if you win it and get to drive it back on the trailer, then it's even better.
We had a kid,
Right.
and I can't remember, from Western States Racer Expo, and it was probably the saddest story. He started out, I think he was in a modified, no, a sprint. The kid with the funny name.
Oh,
And the first year out, rookie of the year, won like crazy.
yeah.
This kid was in cloud nine, and it was just him and his dad.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. Kind of, race by race, just didn't have a ton of money. And he came into the 2016 series, probably 2017.
This year's.
It broke
Yeah.
everything that he could ever break.
Yeah. He just had
Crashed
bad
every
luck.
time he could crash.
Just bad luck.
And I think it broke the team, and it broke the family, and now he's not racing.
Yeah.
And this kid, when we interviewed him,
He was dejected.
I've never seen anybody that's more passionate about racing than this kid. And when his season started turning to mud, you could just see it in his face. I mean, and there was nothing we could do to pull him up out of this. That's what it was. It was at the Racer States when we interviewed him.
Right.
Yeah, I can't
Right.
think of his name. It's Paulson, or you remembered it because you thought he was cute. Don't ask me why, but I can't think of his name to save my life. Okay,
Oh,
well,
I'm
when we get off
sorry.
air, we'll be able to do it. All right, so you got a couple of minutes left. Knock down your sponsors one more time.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We'll go back over a few people. We'll go over Little Darlings, Lemon Grove,
Yep.
Dan Davis. And just remember, every third Thursday is amateur. So go on down there and check it out.
Okay.
I got Jim Hutchinson, my partner, main man right here, motor
One that's been
builder.
talking so much.
He's been talking a lot. Yeah, we're having fun though, and then of course, Antonelli's great sandwiches, great people. We got Executive Garage for the paint, TCP Global, Steve, Philly Cheesesteak Stubs.
What's that other paint company?
The paint company is TCP Global,
Okay, good.
Tri-City.
Tri-City, that's right.
They changed it around, but everybody
quit
knows them
doing
from that. Yeah. And then pretty much anybody else that wants to get on a race car.
How do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me through Facebook under Dennis Taylor. or my email. It's dohcmotorsports@gmail.com.
Cool.
And, go check those things out. There's a lot of pictures, and also hit up YouTube and look up Dennis Taylor. There's a lot of racing videos, or we do a lot of rad programs with Debbie Chapman.
Yep.
She's a great lady. We go to the schools. So if you ever want us to come to your child's school, just get a hold of Debbie, and we'll set that up, or me. It's really great to be able to, return the favor to the kids and see how excited that they are and stuff.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Hey, we're going to have to hit the dusty trail, but we really want to thank Dennis for coming in.
Yes.
James, is same thing with you. He's going to take you out for dinner, so you're in good shape.
Yes.
Michelle, as always, Carcentrics.
Carcentric.net is our website with reviews, mini version of the calendar, and list of museums. Check us out on Facebook on You Oughta Know and Racer Radio.
All right, folks, stay tuned. Gun Sports Radio coming up. AM 1170.
The Answer. Happy trails.
Who cares about the clouds when